Welcome to BunniPhish Crafts. I'm your host Heather, known as BunniPhish on Ravelry, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. Today is Friday, the 26th of October, 2018, and this is episode 25. Grab some sticks and string and come sit with me. So I'm in another new location. This is my sister's backyard, and she and I were supposed to hang out this morning, but she has been sleeping since I got here, and I was thinking I was going to record in the park, but since I'm here anyway and she's sleeping and I can't leave until it's time for her to leave because then she won't wake up and she'll miss an appointment, I figured I'd come and record, and by the time I'm done recording it will be time for her to wake up. So how are you guys doing? We are good. Last night was trunk or treat at the school, so that was super fun. I have told my kids that we're not going trick-or-treating, mostly because I don't want to deal with trick-or-treating. It's either going to be really, really cold and horrible weather or okay, but I would rather just cuddle in my bed and watch scary movies. But not scary, like kids scary movies. So that's what we're gonna do next week. So last night we did trunk or treat, so they got the trick-or-treating experience without all of the hassle of walking, 27 million blocks and stuff. I was planning on recording in the park, and so I have everything in my bag, and it's not in the order that I have it written down on my show notes, so we're just gonna pull things out and talk about them as they come up. There are a bunch of ducks right there. Can you hear them hitting the water? They were 2 houses down. They might come up behind me while we're here. This is a canal behind me, so ducks happen. Okay, so first up is my car project. It is a pair of Regia socks. I don't think I had this on the needles last time. I think I had finished the Perfect first sock, and then I needed a quicker finish, so I cast this on. Maybe I had just the cuff cast on. The cuff is in Premier Serenity sock in charcoal, and then the leg and foot are in Regia Arne Carlos design line, color 03760. So it's Christmassy, and I have made a decent amount of progress in the bajillion weeks since I've seen you. Because this was my trunk-or-treating knitting, and getting caught in the parent pickup line for longer than I thought, and having a project that I had to actually think about to work on, or for those random 2 minutes where we're sitting there not moving, this is a good pick up and work on project. Some finished things this week. Our local library is collecting 12-inch squares, so on Monday, my sister and I went to see The Hate U Give, which was, it's a movie that was made based on a book by the same title by, I want to say Angie Thompson. That could be totally wrong. If you have questions, put them below. If you want to correct me on the author, also put that below, because I say that I will put it in the show notes, but I will probably forget. It was very good. There was a lot of crying for myself and my sister, ugly crying. It's a movie about race relations and police brutality. I felt, having read the book earlier this year, I felt that there were some things in the book that they cut out that would have made the movie better, but it was a long film. It was 2.5 hours, so I understand why they made cuts. I just wish that they hadn't, but overall I think it was really well done. Anyway, while we were there, neither of us can sit still, so we decided to make squares for the library. I said they were 12-inch. The library's collecting them to make them for a senior center or a senior home. I don't remember exactly. I did not make this one. My sister made this one, and she made 2. The other one's in my car still. I made this one, and this one, and this one, and these are all out of Bernat Pop, I want to say. The cakes that are self-striping, and these are all one colorway. So this one doesn't go back to the white. I made my squares not the correct size, so this was around the edge of this blue one instead. This white was, and then it went into the pink again. So we did that on Monday. I finished all 3 of those squares on Monday. That's pretty much what I did on Monday, was work on that. Next up, I have a beautiful sample knit that I'm working on for Emily of Wolfiend, and this is the Suburban Wrap by Joji Locatelli. I cast it on last weekend, I want to say. I'm pretty sure I got the yarn on Friday, and this is 1 week of work, and I am about halfway through the wrap, which will of course block out huge. This is let's see if I can find the tag first of all to show you. Wolfiend. It's a 75 superwash merino, 25% nylon base, and the colors are lovely. So let me show you the shawl again, just so you can see how they're working. You can see that's really a drapey gauge. I'm working this on a size 6 needle, I believe. Whatever was called for in the pattern. Yes, a US 6, which is a 4mm needle. And the colors are, I am in love with them. So let me show you them in the cake so you can get them a little more concentrated. So this is Sleuth. It's a bluey, gray-y, beautiful, dark color. This one is my favorite. I wanted to work with this one so bad that I didn't have my ball winder with me, so I didn't turn it into a cake. I just wound it by hand. And I didn't have my Swift at that point either. Haley sent me a Swift because she is amazing and she wasn't using it, and it has already been put to good use. It's one of those floor Swifts. So it was pretty exciting. My kids hadn't seen one of those before. I had an umbrella Swift before. This is Break of Day. Can you see all of the beautiful speckles on this kind of, it's a gray-y base with just a hint of purple to it, and there are just yellowy, greeny blobs, that doesn't sound very nice, speckles, and blackish speckles, and every once in a while there's a reddish speckle. I wish that this is a color that I would wear because I think it's so beautiful, but I don't think it looks great against my skin because olive skin is it's finicky about what you can wear against it. I think this would just make me look sick, but I love it so much, and I am so happy to be working with it in this project. Every time I get to a place where I'm working with Break of Day, I just it flies because this colorway brings me so much joy. And then the other is another tonal. It's called Grandma's Couch. It's like a goldenrod-y color, very pretty, a darker gold color. So this is the Suburban Wrap. This is the first Joji Locatelli pattern that I've knit, and it's very well written. The pattern looks beautiful, and this is just a personal preference thing. I don't print out my patterns, but if I did print out my patterns, I wish that there was a printer-friendly version because there's so many beautiful photographs, but it's just like a bajillion pages that I don't know. Everybody has their own different way of setting up patterns. I just like mine a little more succinct. So I wouldn't say don't make it. Obviously this pattern is gorgeous and it is well written and the pictures are gorgeous, but if I had to print things, I would be less likely to print that. That said, that's just me being picky, because I feel so much guilt when I have to print things out because trees, the amount of paper we use is extreme. Yeah, just one more time, look at how beautiful that is. Like I said, I'm halfway through. I've been working on it for a week, so I don't know if I will record before I send this back. Hopefully I will. We'll see. I'm trying to record. It's just, life is busy. Life is really, really busy. Did I tell you guys? I don't think I told you guys that I'm going to be working at my kids' school as a lunch aide, which is just, you know, I'll be there for the lunch periods, wiping down tables, helping kids open packaging. So that's a thing that's happening because they desperately needed bodies, and I don't mind being at the school, helping at the school. You guys know I love my kids' school. So next up, I probably shouldn't even show you this because it's silly, but I cast on a pair of fingerless mitts yesterday. I have the cast on round and I have knit half of the first rounds. I'm going to work them 2 at a time. I am not using a pattern, but I am taking the patterning from the Fair & Woods hat by Jack Beck and throwing that somehow onto these mitts. I haven't decided how I'm going to do it yet. I am doing a fisherman's rib around, or for the ribbing around the wrist. I'm going to work them from wrist up. I don't think I'm going to use the rest of this ball of yarn, which is what I used to make the Fair & Woods hat. So I don't know what I'm going to do with just a little tiny bit of leftovers. This is 70% alpaca, 15 merino, 15% nylon, and it is it's from Dreamcatcher Alpacas, and it is it's worsted weight, it's lavender and brown, and this is a local farm, local-ish farm to me. It's local to my dad, so I am making these mitts to go with the hat to go to his girlfriend because I thought that that would be nice. And the only other person who I know immediately coming to mind who would wear this color is my sister, and she would put it in the washing machine, so she can't have it because she doesn't take care of her hand knits the way that I would need that to be taken care of. She appreciates the heck out of them. She would forget, it would end up in the washing machine, and then all that work would be felted. In this bag I have another sample for Wool Fiend. This is the High Garden colorway, and it is so beautiful. It's kind of on a creamy base, but it has areas where that cream goes into a very pale green, and it's got this rosy color that it also goes into with speckles of black and red and blue. I have not worked with Emily's yarn before, and let me tell you how much of a mistake that is. I'm in love with her speckles. Her tonals are beautiful. I'm not trying to downplay her tonals. Her tonals are beautiful, but her speckles are so gorgeous. I'm so glad that when she put up a call for sample knitters, I was like, well, I could do that. Yeah, I totally can do that. Look at this. Let me show you it in the cake too. It's just, I cannot even with this color. These are not even, the other speckle and the speckle are not even things that I would pick up for myself because, again, it's not super flattering on my skin. My skin is difficult. It just is for colors. It doesn't really like light colors at all. But these speckles are amazing. It's so beautiful. I am loving it. The pattern that I'm making for these socks is the On the Hill by Kay Linton. I think it's Litton, no N. She's a crazy sock lady. She has a podcast, which is great. Go check it out. She's really enjoyable to watch. She is one of the few podcasters that I've started watching in the last couple months that I went back and watched her whole catalog. So I highly recommend that. And I'm knitting these on a different needle size than I usually use. I am trying US 0, which is 2.0 millimeters, because I feel like my gauge is a little bit looser than it was, so my socks are fitting a little bit more loosely than they were. Anyway, it's a cable pattern down the front of the sock. There is no knitting down the back of the sock. No knitting, no patterning. It's just stockinette down the back of the sock. So that makes it pretty quick and easy to work. And yeah, I'm really enjoying the pattern. It's lovely. It's very, very beautiful. The yarn is beautiful. I am super in love with this project. So yeah, there's going to be so much progress made on this by the next time you see it, because I just want to work on it. I just want to see the cables, and I want to see the yarn, the speckles work up. Maybe I need another cable-y project after I do this one, or another texture project. I feel like a lot of what I've been doing recently has been less texture-y. Yeah, even the Suburban wrap, it has texture sections and eyelet sections, but it's very minimally so. I feel like I need a challenge project. And you would think that this could possibly be the zipper Lexicon socks, but it's not, because I've made them before. I already know what I'm doing. So I have the first sock with the foot portion is knit. This is Zipper Lexicon by Kirsten Hall. The foot portion is knit. I've put in the equivalent of the heel flap and heel turn. So, and there is no gusset area in this sock. So I guess I've just put in the heel. So put that in, and you do the toe after. But if I'm feeling bored one of these days, I might just pick up the toe on this one just so the sock can be even closer to finished. But then I don't think it's too much to say that there's two different hexagons that you use in the sock pattern. There's hexagons on the foot and the heel, and then there's a slightly different hexagon on the leg. And right now I can do the foot hexagon without having to refer to the pattern at all. So I just decided I would do the second foot, which I have half of the first tier of hexagons, and another part of it started. So I'm going to do the foot and the heel before I go on to the other hexagon, so that I only have to refer back to the pattern one time and I can finish both socks for that portion. I'm going to have to refer back to the pattern for the toes again, but that just made the most sense to me for ease. And also, I didn't want to start on the leg of this and then start the foot of this other one and get confused on which hexagon I was doing. So that is Manos del Uruguay. I don't know the colorway, but that's what the yarn is. And then this other project is also out of Manos. It is the Tripartite by Stephen West, and I have yarn piled on top of my project because this is a mess that my sister made trying to wind yarn without me with no Swift. So I'm fixing this skein before I can use it in the project. My sister's neighbor just threw food out for the ducks, so the ducks are going crazy. Yarn down happens. So this is it's fingering weight. It's 75% superwash. I'm gonna guess it's 25% nylon is under the tag, and it's Allegria. The socks are on the Allegria base also. And this is what I have. So I'm working this on US 3.25 millimeter needles. I can't remember if I've shown this on the podcast. I don't think I have. So you're looking at the wrong side right now, because that's how I showed it to you. Let me show you the right side. Not that you can tell because it's garter stitch. I made all sorts of changes to this. I cast on a different number. I'm using a different needle size. I'm using a different weight of yarn. It calls for a lace weight, I believe. I'm using a fingering weight. But I think it'll work out when it's done. My sister says that the pooling doesn't bother her. I don't think that I would be comfortable wearing a sweater with this much pooling. It goes this way, which is why I'm showing it to you this way. But that's fine. If she wants it, she can have it. We don't have the same taste on almost anything. So I'm happy to make it for her, though, if she supplies the yarn, which she did. So that is that. And then, oh, the neighbor's dog has spotted me, and it's very exciting. And then the last thing I have is a finished object. So this is the hat that I've been designing this month. I've talked about it a couple times. Don't mind my hair. This is total bad head that I just threw under a hat. This is the hat that I'm doing in collaboration with Fiber Nymph Dye Works on her bedazzled base. So it's got sparkle in it. And there you go. That's what it looks like. Today I will have this up for test knitters. I will have the pattern typed up, so if you're interested in test knitting, it is fingering weight on US size 1 and 2 needles. I think it works super well in a self-striping. This isn't blocked yet. I think it works really, really well in a self-striping, and then a contrast color that is coordinating, and you can wear it, you know, lots of different ways, wherever you want to put the panel. But it's got a lace panel, and it's got texture in the hat. It is a really quick knit once you know what the design is. After I nailed down the design, it was super fast to knit the hat, even though it's fingering weight. And I don't know, I really, really like it. I think that this is the perfect beanie size without blocking, and I think it looks nice even without the blocking. But you could definitely block it into a slouch or throw an extra repeat to make it slouchy. There was plenty of yarn left over. I want to say this was a 20 gram mini. I am guesstimating about half was left over. I haven't weighed it or measured it. And about half of a 100 gram skein of the self-striping left over too. About. Again, I haven't weighed it, but I will. So yes, this is open for test knitting. If you are interested, let me know. A couple other administrative type announcements. I will be releasing 2 patterns today. Those scrappy stripy socks. Those are the Scraposaurus socks, and I will be releasing those today, pretty much immediately. I'm going to the library after this. So before this podcast is even uploaded, it will be released. It's all ready, except I have to fill out one last page in the Ravelry publishing page. If you're a designer, you know that that's so much and kind of a hassle. But I have that left to go. And then those socks will be released. And then the first hat that I designed with Intarsia in the round, that is ready to be released. It is called the Signature Stripe, and it is the first in this Intarsia in the Round hat collection, so Helicoid Volume 2. This is going to be pattern number 2, and then hopefully this weekend I'll be casting on pattern number 3, which I talked about on Insta stories. If you're interested, it should be highlighted under Vlogtober number 3 somewhere. So yeah, Signature Stripe will be out. That's the hat that has the texture on the side and the stripe that wraps around. And I hope you guys enjoy that. And those will be on sale for those 2 patterns specifically will be on sale for 20% off over the weekend. So good through Sunday night at the end of the night. All right. I hope you made something fantastic with your sticks and string, and I will try really hard to see you next week. Bye!